Da 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 Citrasloth.
Hey guys, Citrasloth here, and today we're going to talk about the new expansion that Blizzard has just announced, World of Warcraft Legion. So the entire expansion is going to be Burning Legion based, obviously, and it's going to take us through a story where we deal with the Naga, finally, and Queen Azara, and this alternate reality Gul'dan that was present through all of Warlords. And it has tons and tons of new content, and I'm really excited about this. So I'm just going to go through the basic stuff that's in it. So the main features in this entire expansion will be a new class. It's going to be a hero class called a Demon Hunter, which is like Illidan. There's going to be a new continent called the Broken Isles, which is around the Maelstrom, and that's going to have a bunch of new zones. Artifact weapons are weapons that you can upgrade and change the look of. Class order halls will be most likely a garrison-y type thing, but more social, where you see tons of people who are the same class as you. So like me, I'm a mage. I would have my mage class hall and see tons of mages all over the place. And there will be lots of class quests attached to those. There's going to be lots of new dungeons and raids, a completely new honor system, so instead of buying gear with honor, you'll be able to rank up kind of like in Call of Duty. The new level cap has been raised to 110, and beta is starting this year. Yeah, that's really, really, really quickly compared to the last few betas that came out. So the Warlords of Draenor beta didn't come out till 5 months after the expansion was announced or revealed. Not even. So here I'm going to show you the cinematic teaser, which is supposed to be a bridge between Warlords of Draenor and the new expansion Legion. Now, in the beginning of this video, I told you the basic facts about this expansion, what kind of new things are coming, and here's the actual trailer that they showed at Gamescom.
On Draenor, old rivals sought to bring Azeroth to its knees. And while the Iron Tide was quelled, they were but servants of a more ancient foe that has not forgotten our defiance. The vengeance of the Burning Shadow has come. our most desperate hour, we must wield the power of the enemy against them. For we stand once more upon the brink of destruction. The Burning Legion has returned.
Now, I don't know about you, but that has me really, really hyped. But I'm remaining cautious because I was super hyped for WoD, and this is... It looks a lot better than WoD, I'm going to be honest. But with Blizzard now, I'm going to have to always be cautious because they really let a lot of us down in Warlords of Draenor. So now I'm going to go more in depth over the regions and what's coming new in the expansion. So a lot of this information I'm getting is from MMO Champion. It's on their front page. There's a link in the description if you want to go check it out for yourself as we read along all this stuff. So there's a full CGI cinematic coming out in the future. So like the Warlords of Draenor one where Grom kills Manoroth and all that stuff. So you know that's going to be good just from the short interlude cinematic that I showed earlier. The Broken Isles, that's a whole new continent. So that was once a vast Night Elf civilization, and basically now have the bones of that civilization. So like the whole area, if it wasn't inhabited by demons and Night Elves and all that stuff, it would be empty and desolate. But it is inhabited, so... Blizzard's description was that the entire continent was a graveyard of sorts. It has the Tomb of Sargeras on it, which is probably going to be one of the final raids that we do where we take the fight to the Legion. This is actually where our reality's Gul'dan died. And he went there searching for a powerful demon artifact, and he was killed inside of the Tomb of Sargeras. And now it's become a gateway to endless Legion worlds. So I'm guessing demons are pouring in from all over the universe through the Tomb of Sargeras here. So this demonic invasion is even bigger than the one that occurred at the Well of Eternity. So that's a really, really big deal, because at the Well of Eternity, that invasion was absolutely gigantic. You had to have all 4, technically 5, dragon aspects involved. The entire Night Elf resistance against the Highborn, Tauren, all of the nature guardians like Cenarius and the Ursol twins and all of them, all of those people went up against the Burning Legion and they just barely pushed them back. You also had Broxigar there, who actually jumped through the Well of Eternity, which was a portal at that point, and struck Sargeras. So this invasion is even bigger than the Well of Eternity that happened 10,000 years ago. So that's a really big deal. So I wonder how much demonic influence is going to be over the zones, and if there's going to be any more demonic influence over the rest of Azeroth instead of just in the Broken Isles. So we are taking the fight to Gul'dan. We're going to be fighting at the Tomb of Sargeras, and then the story begins from there. So a lot of people are saying that going to the Tomb of Sargeras might be a pre-release event, but I'm not sure about that because that seems like a culmination point of a lot of stuff. Back to the artifact weapons, Ashbringer and Doomhammer are going to become artifact weapons, which are weapons that you can alter and that we the players will pick up. Apparently, there's going to be different artifact weapons for each class and spec. So there's going to be Ashbringer for Ret Paladins, Doomhammer for Enhancement Shamans, and Kel'Thas's Blade, I forget, it was a very powerful Blood Elf Spellblade for fire mages, and the Shards of Frostmourne are going to be forged into 2 new one-handed weapons for Frost Death Knights. So I'm really excited to see what other weapons that they're going to pull out of the lore and include here for the players to use. So the players will be able to upgrade their weapons. They're going to go through a sort of a miniaturized talent tree where they choose perks for their abilities, kind of like Draenor perks, but you choose them and everybody has different ones. Also, depending on different achievements you can do, you can change the look of your weapon. So in Ashbringer's case, it can be the normal Ashbringer, it can be a holy Ashbringer, an Ashbringer made out of pure fire, a corrupted Ashbringer, and another Ashbringer made out of like broken up pieces that are held together by lightning and thunder. And all of those have color variations as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to restore peace to the world, try and quell the unrest between the Alliance and the Horde by the classes coming together in their own orders. So like mages will be grouped together in Dalaran, and the paladins will be grouped together under the Silver Hand, and the shamans and druids most likely will have a close relation. They'll be grouped together under the organizations that held the world together during the Cataclysm. And along with all this, we're going to have the new class, Demon Hunters. So this class is a little bit different from most classes that we know. This class only has 2 specs. It's going to be a tank spec and a melee DPS spec. I'm guessing they're going to be pretty powerful, and there's some pretty cool abilities. We already know one, they're going to be the only class that can double jump, which is really neat. So, another key thing that we have to do, we will see the prison world of Shardum, where all the demons were held before Sargeras broke them out. So, if you remember, in the beginning, when Sargeras was still a Titan, he imprisoned all the demons. And Shardum is where the prison was. So, I'm guessing we will go there, or the Demon Hunters will go there during their starting quest line, but we see that there. We'll also go to the Vault of the Wardens, where the Night Elf Wardens, which are like the jailers, so like Maya of Shadowsong, she was a warden, so it's like a giant jail, kind of like Violet Hold, but for the Night Elves. And Pillars of Creation, we have to find those and fight all over for those. Those are apparently really powerful Titan artifacts that we need to help close the portals. So the new city in this expansion will be Dalaran. So that's really, really cool. A lot of nostalgia from people who played Wrath are coming in here. Dalaran is going to be floating outside the Broken Isles, moved there by Khadgar and the Kirin Tor, which are also coming to the Broken Isles. So there are going to be a few different zones. So one of them is Val'Sharah, which is a forgotten druid refuge. It's actually the place where Malfurion became the first druid under Cenarius. And I'm really excited about this. There is going to be, the opening raid of the expansion anyway, is supposed to be the Emerald Nightmare, which is something that WoW players have been asking for since vanilla and even beta, I've heard. So remember all those files that were dug up years and years ago about the Emerald Dream? Well, I don't know if they're getting any use, but the Emerald Nightmare is becoming a raid. Apparently it has 7 bosses, and at the end we will face Xavius, which is a satyr who was responsible a lot for making Malfurion go into a really deep sleep in the book Storm Rage. So he is trying to unleash the Emerald Nightmare into our world, which is influenced by Enzoth and the Burning Legion. There's going to be another dungeon or raid called Blackrook Hold, which is apparently also in Val'Sharah. And when we go into the Emerald Nightmare raid, apparently we'll get glimpses into the Emerald Dream. Another area is Stormheim, where the Vrykul, like at Northrend, more Northrend influences. They came down and left Northrend thousands of years ago, and we're going to learn about the Vrykul, their history, as well as the Valkyr, but not the undead corrupted ones that the Lich King uses, the actual holy ones that they were before the Lich King corrupted them. High Mountain is a new zone, which is apparently really rugged, and it's also the home of the High Mountain Tauren, as well as the Lair of the Earth Warder. So, if you all don't know, the Earth Warder is Neltharion. Neltharion turned into Deathwing eventually. But apparently this place is gigantic because Neltharion was by far the largest aspect of all the other aspects. So, this is his home before he became Deathwing. And apparently, because there's big game here, Hemet Nessingwary will also be in High Mountain. Saru Mar, which is another new area, has a new race of elves, which I'm guessing are the remnants of the Highborn that didn't get turned into Naga. And apparently they've lived there for 10,000 years and have flourished due to their magical ability, but now they're all serving the Burning Legion, so we need to kill them. Apparently in that raid, Gul'dan will be the last boss of that raid. And, along with an announcement, Aurelia and Turelion will be somewhere in the expansion. So if you guys don't know, they are on two of the statues out in front of Stormwind. They were really strong heroes of the Alliance, and they were lost on Outland. So, as of right now, there are a few artifacts that we know of, but there are going to be 36 in total. So, the ones that we know are Ret Paladins, they will have Ashbringer. Frost Death Knights will seek out Frostmourne's shards in ICC and then reforge them into a pair of rune blades. Over time, you can earn artifact power by completing quests, dungeons, battlegrounds, and a lot of other major activities. And the power is spent to unlock traits that empower your weapon and character, as well as visual customizations. Each artifact has a trait tree that's unique to the artifacts, so kind of like the Draenor perks plus talents, kind of a merging of the two. So a few other weapons that we'll know or that we'll see is Philoma Lorn. That's the spell blade that fire mages have. The Eagle Spear is apparently new to lore. It'll be a weapon for survival hunters, and that'll be in High Mountain, and the High Mountain Tauren know about it, and it's very sacred to them. Icebringer and Soul Reaper are the blades that will be forged out of Frostmourne. Doomhammer is going to be for enhancement shamans, and for Feral Kitties and Guardian Druids, apparently they have different things. So for Feral Kitties, it's called the Fangs of the First Night Saber, which changes their models, which is really nice. And speaking of which, there are apparently going to be upgrades for the Feral Kitty and Guardian Druid models coming in the new expansion here. So, delving more into class orders. Apparently the Alliance and Horde are fighting a lot, but classes band together to fight the threat. So we're going to have lots of class quests, etc. Apparently the Paladins will be underneath Lightshoach Chapel. The Warlocks will be on a Legion portal world, and the Shamans will be in a cave near the Maelstrom. The halls will be located in thematically appropriate areas. So I'm guessing mages will be somewhere in Dalaran. Druids might be in some druid enclave somewhere. Death Knights might have a floating city like Naxanar to go to, etc. And apparently, instead of followers this expansion, we're going to have champions. So these are going to be like big-time characters like Lady Leodrin for the Paladins, instead of just random people who we recruit out of nowhere. There are going to be a few new dungeons and raids. So the Halls of Valor is basically Valhalla for the Vrykul. So it's like their heaven. It's up in the sky. Lots of Vrykul there, and it's where the strongest Vrykul warriors go when they die. Blackrook Hold is going to be a max level dungeon in Val Shara, and it used to be a bulwark against the Legion, which was carved out of a mountain to be a fortress, but eventually it was corrupted. The Vault of the Wardens is a demon hunter prison where you begin to try and find Illidan wherever he is. And there are going to be a couple more: the Eye of Azura, the Darkheart Thicket, Neltharion's Lair, Helheim, which takes place on a ghost ship sailing through the sea, and Saru Mar City, which is apparently the City of Night. Violet Hold, so another callback to Wrath. Apparently there's a lot of extra stuff that we didn't see in Violet Hold, and we're going to explore those. And the Emerald Nightmare is going to be one of the first raids. It has 7 bosses. And Saru Mar Palace is going to be another raid with 10 bosses, and that is going to be where we fight Gul'dan. It's going to be kind of like Black Temple, where we're going to fight our way up from a back entrance into the actual area where we kill the final boss. So the new class Demon Hunter is going to come with a few different themes with it. So they have tattoos, and you can vary those, as well as their skin. They can be normal, scaly, or have different colors. You can choose from different eye colorings and different styles of horns. So they're going to be hero class like Death Knights, so they're going to start at a high level. So apparently they're going to awaken in the Vault of the Wardens, awoken to fight the Legion, and they see the past where Illidan sends you on a mission, like a suicide mission, to another world. They're going to have 2 specs: Havoc, which is their DPS spec, and Vengeance, which is their tank spec. And that's because Demon Hunter healers don't make sense. And apparently, according to Blizzard, 2 DPS specs or 2 tank specs would water down the identity of the class somehow. They rely on a resource called Fury, which I'm guessing is Demonic Fury, because they're Demon Hunters, but it could also be regular Fury as well. They have Spectral Sight, which allows you to see through walls as their special class ability. And apparently, and like I said before, they can double jump. So the new honor system is quite different. What you're going to do is you're going to unlock different PvP talents specifically for PvP. And after you rank up and stuff, you can prestige, kind of like in Call of Duty, go back to base 1, and then start from the bottom all over again. And that is a lot of what we know now, but I'm sure more information is coming in the future. One thing I am kind of a little skeptical about is what other races are going to be allowed to be Demon Hunters. So right now, the only ones they previewed at Gamescom were Night Elves, which is obvious, and Blood Elves. And Blood Elves simply because they used to be Night Elves. So I wonder what other races will be able to turn into Demon Hunters. I'm guessing humans and orcs, maybe, but other than that, I don't know what. So thank you all for watching this video, and more information on this expansion will be coming soon. I hope you guys are as hyped as I am. Alright, thanks for watching. Bye.